Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's post-match East Kilbride Smell the Glove podcast. And today we're live with my fellow cohort and evildoer, St. Paulie D. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, mate. Could be better with the football results, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
What? There's football results? What you talking about? Nothing happened.
Christ. I think so. Chris isn't here at the moment. I think he's just texted me saying he's trying to get on.
He's trying to get on. Well, I'll catch him in a second as soon as we find him somewhere. But so here we are, enjoying today. It's rainy. What's the weather like up in Toronto?
It's unseasonably warm. It's warmer here than it is in Scotland anyway. So Toronto's not been bad this winter. So after two of the coldest winters on record. So I think if it was as cold as the last 2 years, I would have got in my car and just drove to Myrtle Beach to fucking hang out. But what's this? You getting snow in Myrtle Beach?
It's supposed to be tonight. So it's raining. It looks like Glasgow outside. It's probably
like warning signs out telling the locals what snow is and shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, no shit. There's not an ounce of milk or a slice of bread to be found in the grocery stores. But I don't understand that. I mean, if your electricity goes out, what the hell is good is milk? I never understood that. But anyway, neither here nor there. So you missed out on a good event in Philly.
Yeah, I was gutted I wasn't there, so tell me through it.
Well, actually, I just want to go and say you weren't on the show that long, and we had like our most downloads ever. But I don't think it had anything to do with you.
I don't know, man. I think
nothing to do with you.
There'll be the segment I was on the show would have the fucking ratings and the rest of it.
It had more to do with. I think it had more to do with the fact that John Paul was on. But I'm just I'm going on a whim there. I'm sure.
Fair enough. It was good for him to come on. Like I was struggling to hear you guys, and I was phoning from my work. But it sounded like a good weekend overall, eh? So talk us through it.
It was good. I mean, I got to meet a bunch of people. I want to get a few guests. I'd like to get. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Sonoma CSE. I mean, they're doing some serious fundraising for food banks and some restaurants.
That's in California, right?
Yeah. Out in just outside on the west side of Napa, over in Sonoma County. In I want to say Santa Rosa is where they're at. And they're doing a bunch of stuff, and I know I want to get those guys on. I've had some emails back and forth. Love to get those guys on there and explain what they're doing. And just to further along the whole idea of what it is that this club's about, especially the supporters, even when you're not on that side of the Atlantic. I mean, these guys are up at 7:30 match. They're at the garage at 4:30 in the morning, cooking, drinking. I mean, I know that the Tims down in Australia have the same issue. But that's nuts, and good for them. I mean, I'm in love with those guys, and they're awesome. But I mean, it's that kind of stuff. You get a chance to meet all these guys that you don't get to see all the time, and I got a chance to go ahead and hug on Graham for a little bit from Beyond the Waves, and got to hang out with Rev, and get to see Chris and those guys, and we got to talk to you a little bit. But the key was for American Tims. I think the key was having the Celtic supporter liaison officer actually with us. If you're a subscriber of Celtic TV, you wanted John Paul to actually be there and watch the games on Celtic TV, and for him to actually just look at the screen every probably 3 or 4 minutes and see it buffer. And we're on a high. I mean, listen, we ran this show, and then we ran. I have 35 meg download speed, okay, here at the house, and it's running pretty close to that for the free Wi-Fi at the Plow, and then they have a wired professional line to run the entire system, and that's what it's running off of at the Plow, and they still had all kinds of issues. And it was that was the best part of the weekend, was having John Paul just sit there and go, wow, I had no idea it was this bad. And unfortunately for Celtic TV, it is that bad. And that's the one thing. I mean, all the stuff about friends and everything else, I'll get to that in a second. But that, to me, Paul, was so huge. Because I mean, think about it. I mean, I know, whether it's you, Rev, or Chris, whatever, whether or not you guys pay for Celtic TV or not.
Well, I do.
Whichever one. I'm not gonna bring that up as far as whether I do.
No, I can tell the story of what happened.
Yeah, I know. We've had that conversation before.
I think we had a conversation before where I actually phoned Celtic TV
and they told
me a conversation with them about it.
Yeah.
And they said that they were changing to the service Amazon Prime, and that was going to make things better. It didn't, and I just eventually cancelled my subscription.
It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. Listen, I pay for the HD access, okay? And I mean, HD access is slightly better than Madden 82. Okay, as far as the graphics. And have times there's no clock, and sometimes it's, I mean, today was live on Gold TV, which I get access to, which I'm pretty lucky that we have that here. And it is what it is. And I got to watch the game in full HD. The commentary was dire. It was, but then it wasn't as bad as when we had that European game. It was pathetic. But like Fox, this was much better than the Fox soccer player.
Like Sean from Liberty Celtic, who I watched the game with on Wednesday. We'll get back to that later on. He worked for a while for Celtic Television. Just said it was just a joke. And if you look at like on my Facebook feed today, there's the guy in the sideline. This is away from just like the buffering issue, which is obviously the major thing. Right? We can talk about that till the cows come home. But just the overall quality. I mean, there's a guy in the sideline reading out the Celtic team in a bonnet, and like the fucking quality is appalling, man. You can barely hear what he's saying because of the sound and the wind with the mics. The camera's angled wrong. It's just everything about it is just wrong. It just looks amateurish. It looks less than amateurish. It looks like they've got a bunch of unpaid interns to film it, to be honest with you. And I think probably that is the case of what's happening.
And you know what? And I feel bad because I no disrespect to them. I'm sure they bust their ass, and I have, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm being disrespectful to them as far as the people who work there.
I am being disrespectful. It's appalling. It's like I'm openly being disrespectful. They are not good at their jobs. This is fucking terrible.
I don't want to make it personal. I mean, listen, if it was personal and they did it on purpose just to shit people off, it's one thing. I mean, the fact, does that make sense?
Well, the thing is, I really hope it is unpaid interns doing it, because if there's actually people earning a wage off Celtic for that quality of television, they should be fired. It's someone that works in television. To be honest with you, it's shocking. It's not hard to find a cameraman out in Glasgow. So plenty of qualified people. So
Paul, cameraman. I'm not talking about cameraman. I'm talking about. I mean, most of the time I get emails that aren't even returned. It's ridiculous.
They don't have enough people. They've not put enough money into it. They've not put enough people and resources into what they're trying to do.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about this in Philly, and one of the weird things was that one of the guys who's really into statistics that I was talking to actually has Celtic TV and had it on one day, and he said when they first updated the interface to include the new version of the Celtic Wall, they had subscriber numbers at the bottom, like how many people were actually downloading the game. He said it got to about 800. So it's not like they're running millions of people. You know what I mean? If it's 800, 800 outside the UK, and then you have a ton of people in the UK for Celtic TV, which I have no idea why in the world you would subscribe to this if you were inside the UK. No idea. It used to be Celtic TV had something every day. Then it became every 3 or 4 days. Then it became once a week. Then it just became just after. And maybe it's just, I don't know. It's just me, I guess. I don't know. I want access to the games. I want to be able to see them. I mean, I'll run them on my phone. I'll do what I have to do. But dear God.
Well, the thing is, right, there doesn't appear to be anyone responsible. And because there's nobody that said, right, I'm responsible for this, they're not open about this. So, like, who's responsible? Who's in charge of this? Because we constantly, every Celtic player in the world, every Celtic fan in the world suddenly assumes that Peter Lawwell's in charge of everything at Celtic. We joke about the micromanaging.
He isn't?
Like, there's got to be someone
in charge. He's not in charge of everything?
There's got to be someone in charge of the media department. And I spoke to someone who claimed to be in charge of the media department when I phoned them. But like, this is the case. Someone's got to be responsible for this, and they've got to come out and be like, this is why this isn't working. Where John Paul Taylor's like came across as a great guy, came across as a really, really good guy, but he was like, this is terrible. I'm going to go back and report this. But he would just go back and go to the media guys. This this is really shocking, doesn't work, they could be like, I know, we've not got enough investment. It's a middle management sort of thing going on here, where it's
well, let's not go over to middle management again. Oof. We'll bring that conversation back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. Anyway, so enough about that. Is it too loud? Are we not loud enough? Or someone saying fix the sound?
Are we not?
I sound. Anyone else want to tell me if I got a little message in the chat room? The sound is bad, so I'm just trying to figure out what that is. So anyway, so. There's just a question of.
I'm going to put my headphones.
Tell me if you can tell me what's going on, because I don't. I have a feed going into this speaker console here, which is good. Lighting the incense. All right, Chris. I'm just trying to figure that one out. How we sounding, Paul?
I've put my headphones on, maybe that'll make it a little bit better.
Yeah, it cut out a little bit of sound. Okay. So, Philly was good. I got there on Thursday, got to hang out with Big G from Celtic Dreams, which was good. He is all that in a bag of chips and a cookie. I love him to death. He's just a genuine. Whenever you hear him on, we sound like two smokers. Yes. And whatever you hear from him and how he talks is how he honestly feels. The man is a stand-up guy. His son, Ryan, is just too funny, and then Eddie Cantwell, who was there also, was great to hang out with those guys and actually talking. And it's fun to watch them see us. I think I got more out of them watching us than us watching them. It was cool for them to see how much we really do care here. So anyway, let me lower that down. That was Philly. The game, Paul. After that, we had to watch the game.
Sorry, was that?
I said after that we had to watch the game.
The county game. I was talking to Deco and I was like, oh god, maybe it's a good thing we didn't go to Philly after watching that. You know what I mean? But it looks like you made the most of it anyway, but I don't know, is it just me or have I just stopped believing that we can win at Hampden?
It is a very, very interesting coincidence that a lot of the games, even the stat that they said today on the they said on, let me turn down. See if I turn down the gain. Is that a little better for you guys? For me there, I turned down the gain, and I'm still should be better now. As the stat that I heard on the Goal TV was that they won so many, Scottish Cups, but then they've lost like almost twice as many, and I don't even want to think about how many semifinals they've lost.
Well, so I think like there's that book Soccernomics that talked about why England lose. And they're saying about England in the World Cup and why England fans are like, oh my god, we get to like the second knockout stage and always lose then, we bottle it. We don't bottle it. It's just because the quality of opposition you reach at that point in the tournament is better than the quality you play in the rest of the group. You basically hit your glass ceiling.
It's their one, and that is their championship.
Yeah. Now the thing is, it's something like every round of a cup competition you go through, your chances of winning the competition, it's like, or getting beat, is like 50% more. If you're a big team. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it said in that book. But it was going on about it where if Celtic are going to lose in the Scottish Cup, the chances are we're going to lose in the quarterfinals or semi-finals. Or final.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like when we start playing the upper tier of the Scottish Premier League, that's when we're most likely to lose. Which just happens at Hampden. Then you throw in the fact that it's a neutral venue, so it's not a home ground. It's a big occasion. The other team is more inspired because they've got more of a carrot and a stick, whereas if Ross County plays in the league, it doesn't really affect them. They chalk at the start of the season up, they think that, they must think that anything they get off Celtic is a bonus. Whereas if you've got a chance to go to a Scottish Cup final as a Ross County player, that's the biggest game you'll have in your life.
That's true. And even today. And that's the reason why, even today's match, that those kids from East Kilbride, that's like your dream, I assume, correct?
Absolutely. What was weird is obviously I'm from Linlithgow, and Linlithgow played Ross County yesterday, got beat 4-2. But it'd just be ironic if Linlithgow Rose put out Ross County after Ross County beat Celtic in the same week. It would have been, I don't know.
Ross County. How wonderful is that? What'd you think of that game? Fun?
The Ross County game. we went 1-0 up. I was like, hold on, we might just like bat a run from here and score another goal and
I
do
haven't
it.
finished my first Magners yet.
The non-Celtic way, you know. And then the second they got the penalty and the red card, there was no. I didn't think for 1 second that we were going to go through.
You know what? I hate to say this. That's exactly how I felt on the inside. I knew it.
And people were like, "Oh, was there a red card?" You'd be screaming for it.
And yes, if it was against
screaming for it.
It was light, but it was there. He did help himself to the ground. He made a deal out of it, but he didn't have to. I mean, that's all he needed.
I heard someone say that, if he should have left him, and you're absolutely right. If he should have left him, but those things, see that thing there, that split moment decision, that quarter of a second that you have to decide to try and bring the guy down. You've got a choice between A, bringing the guy down, B, making a valid challenge, or C, leaving them altogether. That split-second decision in the box and the same thing, that's uncoachable.
Yep.
See anybody that blames Ronnie Dyler for that or Eddie Ambrose, it doesn't matter if you're Paolo Maldini.
Hey, listen, I do blame Dyler.
You think that's coachable?
No, I think it's selection.
There's plenty of things like we can tear Ronnie Dyler limb from limb on the show right now.
For selecting Ambrose, yes, that is his fault.
For selecting the team selection of having him in the team, you can say that. But the concept of not bringing the guy down in the box, blah blah blah, that's uncoachable. That is just one of the anomalies of football that happens. It doesn't matter if it's Manchester United versus Leyton Orient or Inter Milan versus AC Milan. You can't coach that. It's just part of football. The whole football's played on grass, not paper. You can't. It's just. There's no way to get around making someone's decision-making so brilliant in that quarter of a second that they come out on top.
No, I agree.
It's unlucky, he was clumsy with it and all that, but see if you'd left him, you would have been like, oh, why did they let him score?
Well, I mean, listen, at that point in time, you have a choice. And I think the we'll call it the soccer-educated mind would look at that and go, hey, listen, I'd rather him do that than get the red card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you would. But what happened was he could have just half the boy, absolutely half the boy, put his hands in the air and went red card, right? But he didn't. He went, I'm going to try and win the ball, and I've been a bit clumsy with it. Which, if he'd made the inch perfect tackle, you would have been like, oh, brilliant. It was before that, he letting the ball go through. That's the problem. The first ball, not the actual lunge to get sent off. That was the problem.
Correct. And let me ask you this: if we're supposed to be, and this is, and I mean, we're going to talk about this in a few seconds, but if this is exactly what it is that Ronnie says he keeps talking about, they're getting better, and I see it in practice, then how come we have the same issue of going up quickly and then having to give, and then ending up giving goals back? Is that not something that should be worked on? That we don't give goals away, we don't. What the hell is going on? Why? How can we give goals away especially right after we scored? And I got to be honest, I was waiting for East Kilbride to score today, right after we scored. I was waiting for it. I was. I mean, I'm like Pavlov's dog now. I hear the bell, I would get hungry. My mouth waters. I want to go eat. We score. I expect the other team to score against us. I mean, is that an unfair criticism?
No, I think we've looked a bit shaky for a little while now. Where I think my main thing is I don't think we can defend corners or crosses. Do you?
Well, I mean, looking at it, we haven't.
Now that's coachable. That's what you got to nail your.
It's been better. I'll put it this way: it's been better lately. How about that?
I don't think it has been better lately. Has it?
I mean, the last time, they scored off a corner against Aberdeen, right? And that's the last one I remember for a while. If I'm wrong, let me know.
No, as in us defending a corner.
Yeah, the last one we scored off, the one we had scored against of is Aberdeen that I remember. After that, it's been a while.
County with Gordon getting held, you could say aye, but that was off a cross, a deep ball in the box.
I can't really count that one. That's just blatant.
There's other people ball watching. There's also against Aberdeen as well, that goal. But also there's another point where the ball's bouncing about in the box like a pinball, and Beata gets about 3 bites of the cherries and headers the ball up in the air instead of clearing it. It's just that absolute rage of the guys over. I had all the Celtic boys over at mine watching the game, and I think I should have really went and apologised to the neighbours because they were screaming at the screaming that was going on. But we'll get back to Aberdeen. We'll get back to Aberdeen because I think that's a different story. But the county thing, the second he was off, man.
I knew.
But apparently this is quite weird, but Sviatchenko, who I'll get back to him later on because I think he's one of the few people to actually get pass marks and all of this. Before Ambrose got sent off, he took one look at the game, got his bibble in and went and started warming up. A centre half warming up in the first. He thought he was coming on. Isn't that not weird?
You know what? This is my timeline. What's his name? Not Savchenko, the other guy.
Beata?
No, the one who's hurt. Like Simonovic.
Yeah.
He's out another 5 weeks? He's out. I think he hurt himself 6 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
Just crystal ball. Savchenko and Simonovic. You think that's solid enough?
I think that
Lustig, Simonovic,
I've got
and Tierney.
In a tiny, I think that's what I'd go with. My tiny amount of seeing Sviatchenko, I'm more impressed with him than for Simonovic. However, Simonovic, people are cheesing themselves over him at the moment, where he's a great passer of the ball, excellent. I still think that his positioning, his decision making hasn't been perfect. But then again, I think he's been put beside guys who he's covering the blushes of.
And they don't know each other yet, by the way.
Yeah, and also the lack of the defensive midfielder, where I think there was one of the games where we lost a goal because the running attacking midfielder ran through and goal. He had a man, Ambrose had a man, and he held onto his man as long as possible, and they went, fuck it, I'm going to have to go and do this guy, and lunged in. He passed the ball about him, and the other team scored, and that made him look shit. I don't think that was his fault. I think that was a fault of the defensive midfielder completely losing it and him having to cover the blushes of someone else.
Well, remember the reason why he didn't get into the team right away? Because he's in his off season.
Is it Croat League?
Yeah. No. You're talking about Simonovic or Savchenko?
I was talking about Simonovic.
Oh, okay. Yes, that is correct. But then again, brand new. I mean, listen. Let's look at the goals that Boyata gave away or did not defend well in Europe. Each time he could have sold out the body for the time and time again. Sold out the body to stop the ball instead of throwing a foot up there or just throwing his head in or throwing the big part of his body in to get the ball, and he just didn't. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I don't mind Boyata, as you've said numerous times, Paul. To your credit, you said numerous times we don't have high end players sitting there in second, third, fourth string. It's a waste of money for us. Boyata as a backup, I'd rather have him than our boy Ambrose anywhere near this team.
I think I probably would at the moment as well.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Remember, I honestly believe that if you look at Savchenko, the beautiful part about him is he is the one thing that I'm hoping that Simonovic takes something off of, which is the aggressiveness on how to put the body on somebody. That's the one thing. Simonovic is more of a passive type guy, but Savchenko, man, I'll tell you what, man, he has no problem going through somebody to get the ball.
Savchenko was also in the box earlier today, progressing up the field.
Yes.
The same way that Virgil van Dijk used to do.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying I'm all for that for centre half, but it shows confidence.
Yes.
Right? I think Savchenko was also barking orders. He was pointing to guys. He looks like a bit of a leader. He looks intelligent as a football player. And from what we hear, I heard on 90 Minutes Sec, they had a guy on talking about the Danish League and talking about Sviatchenko. He's like the son of an artist and all this.
Right.
And they were making fun of his fashion blog, but you can see the guy's an intelligent guy. Where Simonovic as well, I think, looks a relatively intelligent kind of cultured football player. Whereas Boyata and Ambrose are both really athletic. Physically, I think they're a lot stronger and a lot more athletic players. However, I don't think that, especially Boyata, I think Ambrose isn't as bad as people make out, but especially Boyata, I don't think he appears to be the most intelligent player when the ball's kind of moving about.
He gets antsy.
In the third of the field, he does.
He does. Last second,
I think they're like, as well, I think Ambrose as well, we joked about it in the show, he's a little bit more relaxed. He's a little bit more, I'll play the ball about, whereas Simonovic he's actually quite a good passer of the ball, and he's quite composed when he's doing it. So Sviatchenko, I haven't really seen a lot of him with the ball at his feet,
but he hasn't given the ball away.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of those glaring mistakes, or those heart-stopping moments that Effie does, Oh. So I think you could probably be quite happy in the respects that you think, all right, Sviatchenko and Simonovic, I'd like to see those two get a run together with Tierney at left, and then, well, I would normally say Lustig, but he's playing so badly at the minute, where I'm kind of glad to an extent.
Do you really think it's that he's bad, or you think that he's still not to 100% and they're having to play him every day because the other option, because Janko is still hurt, right? The other option is Ambrose, and he can't fucking cross. If you think for 1 second, he can't cross, holy fuck me, there is not a chance on the face of the earth that he. I mean,
a couple of points to make on this one.
Ambrose can't cross.
Effie's final ball is appalling. Like, there's no way he could play right back and like really cross it like that.
And his first ball,
like I was glad to see him get a game today because I felt it would have been really shady to see him completely dropped out of the team. I don't think he's as bad as people make it out. And also, because Lustig was playing so terrible, I think that it's good to have Lustig dropped out of the team. Be like, hey, you're not guaranteed the game here. Because I think Lustig doesn't really have any competition for right back at the moment. With our man, who's a young guy that's on long-term injury that we got from Man United.
Janko.
Yeah. Well, the two things about Lustig that shows a little bit about people's criticism of players, right? Lustig was dreadful against Aberdeen, and the guys we had round were all bitching at him and moaning at him, and quite right, because he was just playing very badly. And then one of the guys went for a piss when Lustig got taken off. He came back and didn't know Lustig had been taken off, and for the next 15 minutes he kept berating Lustig, being like, that's Lustig's fault. Lustig wasn't even on the field. And we didn't tell him this. We're just like, aye mate, you tell him. And he kept on berating Lustig. And it just shows that this is an intelligent football fan, and he wasn't that pissed. It's just like sometimes you just get it in your head, a certain player's responsible. And for him, he was out, knives out for Lustig, and just kept on saying that Lustig was responsible for this and that. And yeah, well, I'm disappointed. Lustig's probably my favourite player at Celtic, so if he's not my favourite, he's right up there.
Listen, so I really can't say he doesn't try. I mean, come on, Lustig, those long, skinny spaghetti legs. He's running. He's going up and. I think
part of it's a disappointment where they gave him the captain's armband, and I think we've said before about Brown, where some Scottish football fans think they put the captain's armband on them is like putting an S on their chest, like Superman. They suddenly should become like invincible. That's
not him though.
He looked like a bit of a leader, and when he took the captain's armband, he wasn't really seeing it. He looked a wee bit shy and retiring, to be honest with you.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so let's say Scott Brown goes out again. After, he's back. He's not fully fit. There's no way he's fully fit. He's playing 90 minutes against East Kilbride, which makes zero sense. Who do you give the armband to?
I'd probably give it back to Lustig again. I probably would.
Yeah, if Brown wasn't there today, who would you give it to? Obviously, Charlie.
You'd probably give it to Charlie, but if not, I'd give it to Griffiths.
You know what's sad? We talk about
I'd probably give it to Griffiths, to be honest with you.
Does it really matter to you, the armband?
No, not really.
No, not really. That's the funny part. It doesn't matter. I don't know why the hell we talk about this. Anyway, that. So let's go
to Aberdeen.
Let's go to Aberdeen because we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Aberdeen.
Yeah, like I was saying, what happened was I was watching it with Liberty Celtic as mentioned, and we're watching it on Darren Gibson's Celtic TV feed. Now, Celtic TV, the game was obviously on at 2:45 p.m. Canadian time, Toronto time.
Yep.
And we watched it back at 7:45, right?
Yep. We all agreed to go into media blackout.
Yeah, media blackout. Yes. So none of us knew the score, media blackout, and all that, right?
Which, by the way, we all did well on. So congratulations to Rev.
We all done well, except for us, because what happened was this: the buffering and all that was so dreadful. My internet connection's amazing, right? This was 5 hours later, so they hadn't fixed it, right? There's also part of the game on Celtic TV that dropped out. You're like, it's 5 hours later, surely you could have fixed this. It's like, you couldn't be bothered, like, because they got beat, you're like, we'll no bother, nobody will watch that. Right? So, what happened was, Darren went, refresh the page, because this is shocking. We refreshed it, and it went to the second half, and showed the score was 2-0, and that was after 5 minutes. So we knew the score was 2-0, and I was like, oh, fuck this. And the rest of the guys were like, no, we're going to watch this entire game, because I want to know who let in those goals. And so we watched, fully anticipating the goals. Aberdeen's first goal was a ping.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was really to blame there, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Yeah. I think maybe Brown could have been quicker closing Boyd down, but that's not really, I mean, nobody really expected the guy to ping it into there. And I was also looking for Gordon to see, because people have been so heavily critical of Gordon recently, and probably quite rightly so, but I don't think Gordon was to blame for that goal. I don't think many keepers really got to that at all.
Listen, Gordon is not without fault, and as someone who's played the position, as a son who plays the position, watch it all the time, and then break down games with him and watch games. Gordon's issue isn't the fact that Gordon is on form or off form. Gordon's problem is the fact that the people in front of him suck ass right now.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't think he has a lot of confidence in the guys in front of him.
No, would you?
No,
hell no. No, I mean those center halves should be buying a bulletproof vest for him for the end of the season as a thank you for the shots he's had to stop and take. Seriously, I watched the game. I was lucky. The last three games is the first time I've been home in almost 11 days, and it was great to actually. I was in Tampa, got to see the game with the Tampa CSC. Those guys are awesome. Watched the game with them when we played. I forget who the hell we played. There was it Killy? That was like 3 games ago. Anyway, and then with the Pa Boys over in Philly for the Ross County game, and then I was down in New Orleans with the New Orleans CSC for that game, and every time we watched the game on Celtic TV, it was just horrible. But thank God, at least for us, I got to watch the second half of the game. So by the time I got to Finn McCool's down in New Orleans, it was literally the second half. We're down 2-0. I was like, what the hell happened? But it was crazy. I mean, those games. I mean, even then, 2-1. I mean, they didn't really come into the game until late in the second half. Celtic. It's like, what the hell's going on here? Like, come on. That game was just like, what? Why? There's no urgency.
My concern about the Aberdeen game was we panicked when we went 2-0 down, and we got the ball, and Aberdeen dropped back a little bit, and we just looked clueless. Like, we didn't know we were playing the ball. There's no way to split them. There's no way to stretch them. We just didn't look confident. We didn't look like we had control of the game or any form of grip on the game at all.
Right there. Let me ask you a question. You just said Aberdeen fell back. There's no way in. Can I ask you a question? How many times are we going to have this conversation if we give up, we score a goal, then we give one up real quick? When are we going to learn that technique?
Of what?
How to play the game. No, you can't score against us. No, we're not going to. We may have scored first. That's the way we expect it. We don't want to give up a goal. And if we have to go into a shell to be able to stop you from having any access at all, then we'll do that. But we don't do that. I mean, Aberdeen, literally, I don't think that we got shell-shocked as much as people think we did. I just think that they just didn't have anything going on. They were, against Aberdeen, Jesus Christ. I mean, when are they going to make a sub? And God, I want to talk about him. I really don't want to talk about Ronnie. But, I mean, when are we going to make a sub? When? For what? And who? I don't understand. You have 4 sitting there. You need to get wide. They've packed the center of the box. You have the fastest guy in the field, a fast guy on your team sitting there. You don't put him on the pitch until, 12 minutes left, 14 minutes left? That game was more frustrating. I remember going back from taking the Uber back from Finn McCool's back down to downtown, and then getting dressed to go to dinner, and looking at my wife and going, I really, really, really need a drink. I really do. And literally just got to where we just literally bar hopped all the way to the restaurant after that game and sat there just looking at each other. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, not at all. I'm not happy in any way, shape, or form.
I was not meant to be drinking because it was a work night for us, and the boys came over. We sank 2 bottles of whiskey, a crate of Heineken, and something else. And my future brother-in-law was there, and he's a Man City fan, and we're joking to him. We're like, we just signed Kazim Richards, and you've just got Pep Guardiola. How do you think we feel right now? I think I mentioned before. I mentioned online anyway that it was him and his mates played with Bury, and they actually played with Kazim Richards. He said that was just a party boy. We just weren't interested in the guy whatsoever.
So let me ask you this. So moving from Aberdeen, where we all wanted to have this long conversation about Ronnie and everything else, what'd you think of today's 4-4-2 with Griffiths and Richards?
I think I think that it was probably, whenever we're playing the lower league opposition, he's going to go with two up front. And there's going to be more opportunity.
That's the end of that then for the rest of this season.
Well, yeah.
He can retire it now. We're not going to see any more of them.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if I took over as Celtic manager tomorrow, I wouldn't play 4-4-2. I don't think we've got the personnel for it at the minute. I think we've got an abundance of attacking midfield players, so you're better playing 3 attacking midfield players rather than Kazim Richards or Carlton Cole up front. But that's just me. But the EK game itself, right? I think the positives were Brown getting 90 minutes, where Brown hasn't been great over the last few games, but he's come back over a long-term injury. And apparently he's been rushed back as well. I think, given him 90 minutes, if we're going into a title race, and if there's one person in a Celtic shirt that can basically grab the team by the scruff of the neck and be like, this isn't good enough, you need to get your shit together, it's Scott Brown. Starting to get a wee bit of Derek Jeter haircut, do you not think?
Dude, he looked like Kid and Play from the 1980s.
Kid and Play, house party, man.
I'm telling you, man, what was up with that fade he had going on?
Yeah. It's a jarhead sort of thing. Chris is saying he's tried calling in 4 times.
Yeah, I got him right here. I'm just trying to pull him. I didn't see it come up. So I just called him back. Let's see if he's lying to us.
Because I'm going to have to go in about, I've got a match at 1, so I need to get to that. Yeah. But yeah, the other point was Griffiths going down. Did you shit yourself when he got supposedly up?
Every time he laces them up, I shit myself.
Oh, man.
He going to the field.
If he got hurt right now, I genuinely think we won't win the league.
He's killing. I know. I don't know. We'll talk about winning.
Imagine if he got hurt and we go into the rest of this with Kazim Richards and Carlton Cole up front. Holy shit, man!
Well, I mean, would you give me a grade on Kazim Richards today?
It's so hard to tell. He's playing lowland league opposition.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't think he done much at all. I think like one thing is that they look to be playing crosses and attempt to get him on the head. So maybe that's our plan B. Him be our target man. I think overall, EK, it's hard to tell with that quality of opposition, but being at 90 minutes, I think it says it all from the Celtic fans at the moment. We're just really unhappy. Because we could have actually, if we had lost that game, that would be the first time since 1994 apparently, that we'd have lost 3 games in a row.
Wow.
Do you know that?
No, I hadn't heard that one.
I was actually at those games, right? I was at 2 out of 3 games, and I should have been at all 3. Because my dad's mate let us down with an old film ticket at the last minute. We were meant to be going to that. Didn't go to that. Then went to Partick and Motherwell. So that was the last 3 out of 3 when we got beat. So yeah, bad times then.
Wow.
But should we bring it on? I mean,
so all right. So before you run, I just want to ask you a couple questions. So let's open Chris in this in a second. I just want to ask you. So if we were to have the conversation after going through the last 3 games, after everything we just talked about, obviously, if 100% of if we took 100% of the issue that Celtic has right now, and we tried to divide up the blame, what percentage would you give Ronnie, Lawwell, and Dermot Desmond?
I think that Ronnie Dyler is. I feel sorry for him. Respects that it's probably the club's a little bit too big for him, and he hasn't really been given the resources to succeed. It's hard to tell because I don't know the dynamics of how it works with Desmond and Peter Lawwell, where I think if Dermot Desmond was willing to invest a lot more, Peter Lawwell would. The concept of Peter Lawwell mising over the money, I don't think that's right. I think if Dermot Desmond went here, I have £30 million to invest in the squad and I want this spent well. I think Peter Lawwell, to the best of his ability, would try and go out and spend the money. So the number one overall thing is that from the top down, Dermot Desmond appears to have lost interest in Celtic. He doesn't appear to be interested in money, in spending money. Doesn't appear to be. I think he believed that Celtic were going to be in the English Premier League, and they're not. And the kind of bubbles burst for him. But then going down, you've got the concept of Dermot Desmond set the thing and said, right, we're not going to spend much money. This is our budget. This is what we're going to spend. I want you to manage the club on this level. Peter Lawwell's then taken on the mantle running the club at that level, and he's managed us into the ground. He's like, I don't think he's done a very good job at all of doing this. He's been unsuccessful of getting quality players in. He's been unsuccessful of getting quality managers. He just hasn't done a very good job. Now, I can't think of anything apart from managing us to make sure we haven't went bankrupt and balancing the Excel spreadsheet of our money. I can't really see on the football field or as a brand how he's helped Celtic succeed in any way.
Yeah, I can. I mean, if you look at the statistics, since he took over, I mean, yes, he took over after 2003 and after what happened in Seville. I get that, and hasn't gone back since. But then again, the money started to change at that point in time also, as far as the money not being even between Scotland and England. Now, from that point on, I mean, the guy's won how many leagues that he has compared? I mean, he's won leagues. He's been lucky the last 3 years. Okay,
I think Strachan really should have won one more league. And it's his bad decision making on the basis of that. And I think that Lennon should have won his first league as well.
God.
I think lack of management there from him cost us those 2 leagues.
That PK that Sammy missed at Ibrox.
So, unfortunately, the problem is that Dermot Desmond's lost interest, and Peter Law isn't very good at managing us at the level. I'm not going to give a percentage.
Give me a percentage. Give me 100%. If 100%, give me those 3 people. I just want to know what you think.
I'd say that 20% of it's Ronnie Dyler. Whereas, the problem is that if you put Ancelotti in that role right now, I don't think he would do particularly well. I think he'd do a lot better, but it's just such a stupid hypothetical. It's just like the concept is that he's not getting the talent to work with. Now,
to put in his idea.
Yeah. Now, Peter Lawwell, I put a large chunk on his shoulders, but the overall thing is, if Dermot Desmond wasn't there, if it was someone else that was really interested in investing in football, but then again, like, we're not going to get some sugar daddy that's going to come in and be like, here, have all this money for free. And someone's going to come in and be like, this is a business investment.
And you know what, Paul? Even if you did, then you end up like Cardiff.
Like who?
Like Cardiff City.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Changing the colors around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get somebody, you bring Sugar Daddy in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, now you go from bluebirds to wearing red.
I want to talk a lot about Dermot Desmond, where I don't think Dermot Desmond knows much about football. I think he goes with what he knows. Like, one of the reasons that Peter Lawwell has been in the job for so long is he knows Peter Lawwell and he trusts Peter Lawwell. Back when Dermot Desmond was first becoming a really big figure at Celtic needed a new manager, and Celtic had pretty much agreed terms with Gus Hiddink. They'd went over and they'd shaken hands with him when he was at Real Betis. It cost Gus Hiddink his job. The Celtic board had earmarked Hiddink and was like, this is our man to go with. Dermot Desmond turned around and went, no, I want Martin O'Neill. Now, obviously, Martin O'Neill was a good decision for Celtic, and Celtic went on from strength to strength under Martin O'Neill. But the truth is that I think he went with Martin O'Neill because he'd heard of Martin O'Neill. He knew of Martin O'Neill. I don't think he really knew much about Gus Hiddink at the time. Now, Martin O'Neill came in, and because of the relationship that they had, he was willing to invest in him. He was willing to support him, and I think he genuinely believed that we were going to be in the Premiership at one stage. So we spent the millions and all that, and that was fine. What's going to happen is he's going to look at this and look at the Lawwell appointments. He's going to look at Tony Mowbray, Lawwell appointment. Lennon was effectively a Lawwell appointment, and obviously Ronnie Dyer was 100% Lonnie's, and he's the Scottish media are calling him a Peter Lawwell a vanity project, which could maybe be true. What's going to happen is Dermot Desmond's going to go, I want my man. I want someone I know. And what he's going to say is, I want Michael O'Neill. Now, Michael O'Neill has done very well with Northern Ireland. If you look at it, his only experience really is with Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland didn't particularly have a very strong group to qualify out of for the Euros. Sooner or later, someone was going to get Northern Ireland through. Sooner or later, someone's going to get Scotland through. And all that. It's just the case. I genuinely don't think Michael O'Neill is the man for Celtic. I think he'll be a motivator and all that. I don't think he's got little to any experience in club football, and the difference between club football and international football is unreal. I really don't think this is the right man for Celtic at all.
Well, I thought it was amazing that I was watching. I was streaming. By the way, I was guilty of a dodgy stream today, watching Hibs play. Of course, I got to get that in while you're listening. By the way, used a little VIP box, and by the way, there was not one buffer the entire time. Just saying. Watching that game, and of course, I've never heard of this O'Neill guy because I don't watch Northern Ireland. I couldn't care less who he was. And guess who's the pundit on Sky Sports for that game today?
Yeah.
This guy O'Neill. Why?
Who?
This guy, the guy you're talking about.
The guy that I'm talking about?
Yeah, the guy from Northern Ireland. He was the
Mike O'Neill?
Yeah, he was the pundit today on Sky Sports.
Here we go.
Yeah, why? Where the fuck did he come from?
Well,
just to get to your point, it's like all of a sudden they're like helping him now. So,
you know how we talk about the best and worst of the internet? The best of the internet is actually someone who nailed it on the internet recently. It's on Kerrydale Street. Sorry, I didn't get your username. But I never done business management at school, and I've never run a business, so I've never been into that kind of business management jargon talk. So please forgive me if this is common knowledge, but I never knew about this, but I think it's really funny because of the name. Have you ever heard of the Peter Principle?
No, not off the top of my head. Go ahead.
Alright, the Peter Principle, I'm going to read off Wikipedia what this is, okay? Someone described this, and it should be called the Peter Lawwell Principle, but it's called the Peter Principle. The Peter Principle is a concept of management theory formulated by Lawrence J. Peter, in which the selection of a candidate for the position is based on the candidate's performance in the current role, rather than in their abilities relevant on the intended role. Thus, employees only stop being promoted when they can no longer perform effectively, and the manager rises to the level of their incompetence.
Yep.
Ronnie Dyler, perhaps?
I can't. You know what? I want.
Neil Lennon, perhaps?
I want to believe that I don't think that has much to do with that. I really don't.
No, I think like what's happened with Ronnie Dyler is Ronnie Dyler's been great for Strumgodset. Oh, he's done really well in his last job. Therefore, let's put him in this job, and he'll also do really well, where it's like a bigger job.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
How about we look at a guy and go, let's look at his qualities and be like, right, this is how he's going to be successful in Celtic.
In the future.
Now, I can understand the Ronnie Dyler. I liked, on paper, I liked the Ronnie Dyler.
But that's not Ronnie Dyler's fault.
It's not right. I don't blame Ronnie Dyler. People seem to have the knives out for the guy. If I met Ronnie Dyler in the pub tomorrow and he'd just been fired as Celtic manager, I'd shake his hand and be like, I'm really sorry it didn't work out for you. You seemed like a really good guy. You had really good ideas that you just couldn't get them out.
Yeah.
And I think if he had a little bit more money to spend, that he'd probably done a lot better.
Listen, let's be honest with each other. If there's a little bit more money to spend, he wouldn't be the fucking manager to start with.
Yeah, and that's also true. But imagine going into a title race with Aberdeen, because it is technically a title race when it's 3-point gap now, right?
Yeah,
and go, right,
let me add something to that.
I'm desperate for a striker.
You just said something that's really interesting.
Kazim Richards.
How many times have we have people said, "Well, I won't go to the game because it's non-competitive. It's this. It's this. Now, listen, we're there now. Whether you want to say it was we're better or we're worse or whatever the hell that it means to downsize a team or whatever that means, we're here now. Okay, so the next home game, get your fucking ass to Celtic Park. It's time.
It's just an excuse. People that say, I'm not going because I don't like the manager. I don't like Cecil. Here's the honest truth for those people.
When it's a race.
Those people, there's a lot of people who went to the games when there was Chris Sutton, Henrik Larsson and Lubo Moravcik tearing it up. And they were like, yes, this is brilliant. And now they've got a team that is nowhere near that level of ability. And they're like, this isn't as enjoyable as it was before. And they'll make the excuse, oh, there's no competition in Scottish football. It's not. It's bullshit. Just the ability of the football team isn't as good. And thus my enjoyment factor has diminished. That is it.
Then be honest. Then be honest about it. Don't give me some bullshit. But anyway, you got to run.
I do have to run. Is Chris coming on?
Chris is right there.
All right, Chris. All right, guys, take it easy, all.
Take it easy, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Right, sorry, Paul.
All right, so, Chris, I'm going to ask you to give me a number. Give me a number. 100% blame. He gave me 20% Ronnie and then split the difference between Peter Lawwell and Denver Desmond. Give me 100% blame.
100% blame?
Yeah, who do you want to blame for what we're going through right now?
100% blame.
If I just split 100% blame of what's going on, split it 3 ways between Ronnie, Lawwell, and Desmond.
I'd go Ronnie 40%.
Ooh.
I'd go Uncle Peter probably 20%.
20%, and the balance would fall on Dermot Desmond.
Interesting. Okay. See, here's the issue that I've got. Ronnie's hands are basically tied at this point in time. So I get that. I give him 10 to 15% of the blame. I give the rest of it split equally between Lawwell and Desmond.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but here's the thing. I don't see enough out of the way we're trying to approach our play. But the players as they are, I mean, there's potential there. I don't think we're using it correctly.
No, that's.
I mean,
okay. You say using it correctly. Give me 2 examples of what we're not using correctly. And if you say Scott Allen, I'm hanging up on you. If I see another fucking tweet, Scott Allen needs to play. Scott Allen needs to play. I am literally going to block everyone who fucking says that from now on. You'd be fucking kidding me. What did you do today?
I'm not saying that. But no, what I'm saying is when we play 2 up top, right? And we're attack minded, like we're so much better. But here's the thing that I've noticed over the past, I don't know, year and a half. Like, I like the one-touch passing stuff, but like, hold on to the fucking ball.
Oh, well, there's your boy Ambrose with how many different times he's tried to absolutely take out the right side.
I'm not making any more excuses for Ambrose.
It's easy now. No one can give me shit for the way Anthony Stokes is playing because he's not even playing for Celtic anymore. It's perfect.
Right. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like we give away so many easy fucking passes that, like, why in the world are we still trying to do that? Like, let's control the ball. Like, look at how we were under Neil Lennon, and it was controlled passing. All right, so the one-touch stuff is great, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And when it's on. But fuck's sake, man.
Okay.
It's like if it's not happening, fucking control the ball, control the tempo.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress.
I know. Do you remember the goal
vaguely
that remember you want to talk about killing me softly? Remember when we played Arbroath?
Yeah.
Vaguely. We what was that game we played Arbroath away, and Adam Matthews scored the goal.
Yes.
He's just a worldie, right? We beat them 1-0.
Right.
Okay. What's the difference between? What was the difference between that game and this game? Were people screaming they want Lennon out after that? Yes. So that's no different. You want to know the difference? The difference is today, Max could have played in the goal today.
Yeah.
He needed Fraser Foster against Arbroath. Max could have. They had one shot on goal, was right into Bailly's arms. Max, my 14-year-old son, could have played on that goal today, and it would not have made a difference in the outcome of the game. That's the difference. This game was well under control. And my buddy asked a great question. He goes, did you get any pleasure out of watching it? I don't think a cup game on the road on a plastic pitch they usually don't play on at Airdrie. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think that I'm going into this game looking for pleasure. I'm looking in a cup game, especially after the last 2 games, I'm looking for survival. What do you think about that?
That's a fair point. I think the other thing is that there was an air of confidence that I don't know if it was comforting or it wasn't, but there were people calling like, oh yeah, it'll be 10-0, whatever. It's East Kilbride. We should have slaughtered them,
but we did.
But we didn't. And
no, we did.
To be perfectly honest though, I wasn't calling for that because it was a mental thing. It's in between everybody's ears. Like it was 100% mental, you know, and we weren't, I don't know, we just weren't sharp.
Well, I mean, look who you have in the middle of the field once again.
Well,
I mean, I love Charlie as a Celtic player. I really do. I remember when he played really, really well. I love his header against Rangers when they were alive. I remember all that stuff. Love those games. Love him. He's Player of the Year. I get it.
you know,
He just clogged.
you know who I'm blaming everything on? I'm blaming everything on Scott Brown growing his hair out. I think
Is that
he
not
needs
good
to
to
go,
play?
dude.
Saying it.
If he shaves his head again, like you're gonna get your captain back.
I think that's what we need to do. I think we need to instead of starting an online petition to get Ronnie fired, we need an online petition for Scott to shave his head again.
Yeah. Because
Let's do that. Can we get a Kickstarter? Can someone start a Kickstarter for us, please, so we can raise money for consistent number ones to Scott Brown's head. We need to take a number one to his head. You know what I mean? A buzzer, a number one guide on it, and zzz, straight down, low to the ground. I need to be able to putt on his forehead.
Exactly.
Because that thing what he had today was brutal.
He is not. Since he's come back, I don't think he's the same.
You know,
I don't know what it is, but I mean, like something's off, and I can't figure out what it is. And the only thing that's different that I can visibly see is
the hair.
He's got fucking hair now.
Listen, he's not fit, and he can't be after going through knee surgery again. Okay, as compared to all this stuff he's ever had. I don't mean like another knee surgery. I mean surgery again. He's back. Okay, and he's not fit. You can tell. But here's something I just read. I don't know if you knew this or not, but it was I just released about an hour ago. Simonovic is asked why he's out 6 weeks. 20-year-old. It's on Goal.com. 21-year-old defender reveals to Goal that he will be out for 6 weeks after the club identified a fracture that he had no idea. Played with a broken leg.
Wow.
Could that explain a little timidness?
I would think so.
I would think so too. Wow. I literally just came up in my newsfeed. I am absolutely just like blown away. Wow. Could you imagine?
No, but I mean, he's tough, I guess.
Tough for me. I'd be like, hey, listen, man, my toenails hurt. I can't play. I can't do that. I don't. Well, he went and did it. I mean, he played like that. That's good stuff, man. He played.
You are a dainty flower. If you got a toenail that's bad.
I am a pain pussy. That's just how it works. Don't touch me. I don't like to be rubbed. I don't like to be touched. I don't even want to go to a massage therapist. How about that?
Just a special little snowflake.
I am. Little teapot, short and stout.
Yep.
So let me ask you this before we get rolling through this. I got to ask you, do you not laugh your ass off every time you look at the Celtic response, the Celtic FC response every time they put out a team? Do you ever watch those?
You mean like at the beginning of Celtic TV?
No. That's another one too. What I mean is when Celtic tweets out who the starting team is.
To be honest, I don't really pay attention enough to it.
Oh my God. You ready? Can I read these to you? Can I go through this with you? This is funny shit. Okay. So this is at 6 a.m. this morning, Eastern time, about 1 p.m. in Glasgow. 11 a.m. in Glasgow. Bailly, Ambrose, Bayada, Shevchenko, Tierney, Mackay, Stephen Brown, Mulgrew, Forrest, Kazim Richards, and Griffiths. If you don't think that Celtic fans need to take a Valium or some type of other, mental drug, like maybe Zoloft, this is great. Stop playing Boyata in caps. Then we have this is great, right? What does the boy Allen have to do to start? Maybe play well. That would be my answer. Bring in youth players and leave them in development or on bench. Okay, Celtic bring. Okay, that's okay. Good. The manager's a fucking helmet. This is. I'm just reading down the list. Why do they do the minimum needed shareholders club, letting down the fans? This could you imagine? What does Scott Allen have to do to get a game? Try playing well, then he does not. That's another good one. Has not been impressive. There you go. Scott Allen. That's what I like to see. No, Scott Allen. That's what I like to see. Ronnie. Is Ronnie going to give Scott Allen a whole 10 minutes again. Actually, he got 18 minutes today. Disgusting lineup regardless of the score. Where are Allen, Roberts, and Christie? This is. I'm just reading on the list. What does Scott Allen do to get a game? I've started Allen, played Mulgrew in center half. Well, Mulgrew's just back from injury, and God knows he probably would have thrown a wheel. Every fucking week. This is the best. This is the tweet of the week. Ready? Every fucking week. Celtic, comma. Jay's been working his heart out and still no start. That's the best line out of all of them. No Allen again. No start Allen again. No Allen. No Roberts. By the way, Roberts played against Motherwell on Friday, which is the reason why he didn't play today. No Allen. What? Could you tell me something? What has Scott Allen done? Seriously, what are you in the Scott Allen needs a game camp, or are you in the what the hell's going on camp with people?
I'm in the what the hell's going on now. Let me just say this: as long as Kieran Tierney's in the lineup, I'm happy.
Yes,
because that kid is unbelievably getting better and better every single match. It doesn't matter; he is giving 150%.
Okay. So this is the reason why I would not have played him today. It's one of two things. You ready? If you're Ronnie and you're playing Ambrose and Charlie Mulgrew, okay, with injuries and loans that we have going on right now, okay?
Wet rags, yes.
And Bruni, who's not fit. If you're going to treat this as some type of training match, why is Tierney out there if he doesn't need to be?
That's true. That's a fair point.
He doesn't need to be there. Does not need to be there. He had no reason being on the pitch today. And don't get me wrong. And listen, and I don't know if the game would have been different or not different. I have no idea. All I know is this: he had no business being on the pitch today. If you're going to put that whole team out there the way you just did, there is no reason in the world he needs to be on the pitch. None.
Agreed.
I don't understand.
Agreed. It's just every time I see his name in the lineup, I'm like, all right, my boy's playing.
No, I get that, but I mean,
yeah, that's all.
What was his point of playing today? What was he going to prove with that?
I mean, he wears the badge on his chest, and that's just I like the attitude he gives out there, and just. You're exactly right. I mean, he has deserved his starting spot, and if you're gonna run all the regs out there,
you done it, Chris. You there?
For a training match, essentially, then yeah, you're exactly right.
Chris, I'm gonna hang up on you. I'll be right back. Let me call you right back, Chris. Where is Chris Long? There we go. Let's call his Skype right back. There he is. We'll just call him right back because he was his connection. There you go. Much better.
Okay.
There you go. So let me ask you this. So before I let you go, Kazim Richards in the team. Cole out. He's on an 18-month deal, if I remember correctly. Is that wasted money? Is the Cole money the same as the same type of money that we're paying for Bo Richter? Would you class those two monies the same?
No, I would class them as the same. Why are we still paying Bo Richter?
Because he's got another year on his deal left. That's why.
So what's he doing? I mean, is he just like he's doing paperwork in the office or something?
He's chilling like a villain.
Yeah, I mean, put him to fucking work. Like he needs to be like a steward or something, like helping people to their seats.
You know what? That's a great idea. Why he should, if he can't play, he should go. Could you imagine if he actually did that? The abuse he'd fucking take.
No, I would say
he can go to like events and stuff.
Yeah, like totally. I mean, fucking put him in the Hoopy the Hound costume. Just fucking something, man. I mean, if you're paying the guy,
holy shit.
If you're paying a guy a wage every single week, like he's doing something. Like
you realize that
if the Hound on Wednesday at like a I don't know, going to a school or something.
You know, it's funny you say that, but that would put it. I mean, I don't know if Celtic would want to put him on a. No, I'm not going to go there. Anyway, so I was going to say something else. So what this is what's funny. Remember when we were talking to John Paul in Philly? He was talking about cups and everything else going out for display. That some of the issues are the fact that the club pays for two people to be the security guards. That would be a great job for Bo Richter, don't you think?
Yeah, he could be security and your face of the club.
Yes. Hell, you're paying him anyway. What difference does it make? It's not like you can pay him extra money.
But yeah, I mean,
not like it's hazard pay for him, but then again, opening a letter might be hazard pay for him.
If he isn't lacing any boots up, right, and he's well enough to walk around,
he should
put him to fucking work.
Listen. This is what I honestly believe. He should be out there before every game. He should be, especially home games. The guys that are not playing, they should. Don't you think they should be out there, like meet this player in the Celtic store or walking around, signing stuff before the game, stuff like that? Why? I mean, why should the only time we see people like him be on the free Celtic TV free pieces where they show the players at training?
Well, okay. Let me pose this in a different way. You remember the story that was told about when the Green Brigade did the food drive, right?
Yes.
And everybody got off the bus and just heads down. Everybody's walking in, blah blah blah. And two young players, get off the bus with bags of food.
Yep.
They walk over and they give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what playing for Celtic means. People that do that sort of thing, right? And if Bo Richter can't participate in anything else, if he's not on that bus or whatever, but like,
he drives his own car to the game, I'm sure.
Get him out there and have him be, the face of the club for the community. That's it.
Now, I'm sure someone's going to tweet out or call in or put on a message board, but that's not in his contract. And trust me, as a business owner,
that's fine.
I get that part.
I get that, but there needs to be some fair exchange. That. I'm not stupid, huh?
There needs to be some fair exchange there.
I mean, that's all I'm saying is like, if we're wasting money for a player that's A, not playing, B, maybe even partially training, I don't even know what he's doing. Like, we need to recoup, what costs are having him perform some service for us. And that, I mean, I realize it's all about an contract and this, that, and the other. I'm not being daft here, but what I'm saying is that being a part of the club means helping out and doing the right things.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's all I'm trying to say here.
So let me get back to the original point. What do you think that the Kazim Richards issue coming in? He looked a lot more mobile, looked a lot more into the game than at any point in time Carlton Cole has. A touch a billion times better. What does that mean for Carlton Cole going forward? What do you think?
I think it's probably good to have somebody like him, because who else do we have? I mean,
nobody anymore. We got rid of everybody.
So my point is that heaven forbid if Griffiths gets hurt or is out for any extended period of time, at least you've got somebody you can throw up there. I think it's the best idea in the world, but I mean, he is in the squad. He is fit enough to play. Like, if we need somebody to come in now, I mean, you could say the same thing about Lee Griffiths today. While he's been amazing over the season, and he's 29 goals, 30 goals. By having somebody like Carlton Cole and Kazim Richards in the squad, this would have been a good game if both of them played.
Who? And what do you mean? Who's Bolt? What do you mean?
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, you know, how we were talking just a little bit earlier about if Kieran Tierney's in the lineup, why is he in the squad? Well, if we had this game pretty much in hand, you know, why are we risking Griffiths? Because, you know, when he went down today.
Yeah, listen, that's because there's no other option. There's no other option. If
my point.
There's no other. That's because there is just no other option.
My point. So, you know, having somebody that, you know, like Carlton Cole, I'm not his best friend. I mean, I have nothing against the guy, but I just don't think he's quick enough now. I think Kasim Richards, I think he shows more of ability of a big up top, you know, striker. I don't know. We haven't seen enough of him yet to know if he's going to be developing into a true player.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
I'm going to give you 6 names. These are our 6 strikers. Okay? I want you to put them in order for me.
Oh, geez.
1 through 6. You ready?
All right. Yep.
You have Kasim Richards, Carlton Cole, Nads, Chifty, Stokes, Nesbitt, Skepo, and then outside the top 6 you have Griff.
Griff is your obvious number one.
Number one, yes. So give me the next ones, top to bottom. The most important one of all. The best strikers out of those 6 players.
Fuck, man. I'd actually say Richards, number 2.
Okay. So now you have Cole, Chifty, Stokes, Nesbitt, and Skepo.
Fuck. I mean, like, I don't like Shifty at all.
Okay, so let's put him down at number 6.
Yeah, I'd actually put him at 5. I'd put Skepovic down at 6.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, where is he? Where is he?
He's
question mark.
Well, he's got the same goal scoring average in La Liga that he did at Celtic, so which is 10 times more than Chifty. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, is he in the current squad?
No, I'm asking. These are our 7 strikers. I'm just asking you to put them in order.
I know.
I'm just what's your order? It has nothing to do with them being at Celtic or not. I'm just asking you what your order. I'm going to get to my point in a second.
All right. So I guess number 3 would be Cole.
Wow.
Number 4 would be Stokes.
Whoa. And then Nesbitt in between.
Yep.
Okay. So you have I didn't see this coming. Okay, so you got the top 3 already at the club. Stokes, Nesbitt, Shifty. Okay, so you got the 4 loanees at the bottom of that list.
Yeah, because we've loaned them out. They're not in the current squad.
Did you not understand the fucking word I just asked you? I just asked you to give me the order in which you think they're talented.
Oh, I mean, if we're just going off of that,
that's all I'm asking for.
Okay, talent.
Yes.
Talent.
I know who's gone.
Talent-wise, I would have to read.